Now we're taking you inside the game, revealing the 5 things you need to know about the growing phenomenon of daily fantasy sports.
FanDuel's one-week leagues are paying out $2 billion this year.
Just pick your sport, pick your players, and pick up your cash. DraftKings.com.
You see the ads almost every time you turn on the TV or log on to a website. Pay-to-play daily fantasy is now a multi-billion-dollar industry. But we've learned lawmakers in New England are watching closely.
Walt Buteau talked to some of those lawmakers along with the owner of a fantasy site and gambling experts. Tonight, he takes you inside the game in a story you'll see only on Eyewitness News.
We are halfway through the NFL's regular season, and already the 2 giants of daily fantasy sports have bet big.
FanDuel's one-day leagues for real money are the hottest thing. Pick your team and get your cash winnings the next day.
FanDuel and DraftKings are everywhere you look.
Just pick your sport, pick your players, and pick up your cash.
The 2 websites have spent more than $206 million on advertising so far this year. With all the money and attention, we're breaking down the 5 things you need to know about daily fantasy sports, or DFS. First, what is it? They're hyped-up computer-based versions of traditional fantasy sports. Instead of basing your team on entire seasons, now you can play every day for as little as a quarter. But spending more gets you into bigger pots.
Gambling has always been...
Bryant University lecturer Ron Washburn is an attorney who specializes in sports entertainment law. He tells us the leagues love DFS for keeping viewers glued to the games to the very end.
Those of us who play fantasy leagues watch it to the last second because now we have a vested interest. Because now you care about that second-string running back who might be starting because of that guy who got injured or whatever the case may be.
So is it gambling? If putting in a little money to win a lot sounds like gambling to you, you're not alone. Providence College accounting professor Patrick Kelly has examined the issues surrounding legal gambling for years. Bottom line, is this gambling?
Yes, I think it is gambling. If gambling is to bet on an uncertain outcome.
Here's why it's legal. In 2006, a change in the law regulating electronic gambling made online poker fold, but carved out a special place for fantasy sports. According to the statute, fantasy sports were excluded from the regulation because the law states winning outcomes reflect the relative knowledge and skill of the players.
I mean, anyone can go up to a slot machine and pull a lever, but for you to win in fantasy sports, you have to know the game.
Who's running the show? We reached out to Boston-based DraftKings and New York City-based FanDuel, which together control more than 95% of the industry, but neither one would comment.
The players' recent stats.
So we went to one of their up-and-coming competitors.
So this is our
24-year-old lifelong Patriots fan Andrew Busa put Austin-based Fantasy Hub online less than a year ago. Total users has grown by 20 times since then, from 1,000 in January to more than 20,000 now. Here's the cut. Fantasy Hub keeps 10% of the money bet on the site, gives 5% to charity, which Busa says is unique to Fantasy Hub, and pays out 85% to winners, close to what most DFS companies claim they pay.
Like with any startup industry that is coming out, that has such an explosive growth that daily fantasy sports has, there are growing pains.
What's the controversy? Just a month ago, a DraftKings employee was accused of using insider information to win $350,000 in a FanDuel game. And we've learned Congress and attorneys general in 3 states, including Massachusetts, have been looking into how the gaming sites work. Massachusetts AG Maura Healey tells us, my focus is on ensuring that there are proper consumer protections in place. Do you think it needs scrutiny?
Yes, I think if there's an industry that needs more transparency and more oversight, I think this is it.
Question number 5, who's playing?
This isn't fantasy as usual.
Mostly male, ages 25 to 30, but a number of surveys indicate only a small percentage of players win. Sports Business Daily analyzed the first half of the 2015 baseball season. 1.3% of the players won 91% of the payouts. Among the investors in daily fantasy sports, the Patriots owner, Bob Kraft. The Kraft Group has a financial interest in DraftKings. Walt Buteau, Eyewitness News.